Yes.
Still stuck with that one.
What one?
I said we're still stuck with that one, huh?
We're gonna live with that one for a little while we, it's in production.
All right, that's okay.
There's no rush. There's no rush.
Welcome to the EriDan Film Festival.
Absolutely. Episode 138.
Wow.
Our 175th movie review tonight. So if you want to join part of that, you should be here and enjoy this, because this is a magical night, even though Dan's not going to be here for very long.
Right. I'm in an undisclosed location. I have to leave in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, Dan Rosenberg's on assignment.
I'm on assignment. I'm in the Mountain Time Zone. That's all I'll say.
So we're gonna handle things quickly and efficiently tonight. The show will not only be 15 minutes long, though, so we will continue. No. We will be choosing a double feature for next week. We will be choosing a TV show to watch all through the month of February. So there's a lot to do tonight, and we're gonna talk about Madonna's "Who's That Girl" from 1987. So it is going to be quite the night. With Dan or without
bring up the little graphics so we can discuss.
Do you want to? I'll run through the stats now. This is our second film featuring Madonna and our second film featuring Griffin Dunn. Directed by James Foley, written by Ken Finkelman. Budget of $18 million and a gross of only $7 million. They lost their shirt on this one. Critics at 35, the audience at 47. Our critics, who knows? So join the conversation to see what you can do. Dan, how would they join us if they wanted to join us?
It's so simple.
Oh, really?
All you have to do is go to eridanlive.com.
Oh, that does sound simple. Maybe we should bring in some people who did just that.
Okay, we shall. Okay.
True lovers of all things Madonna.
Oh, yeah.
You did select the movie.
I did select the movie. That doesn't mean I love everything Madonna.
I don't know. I think you stand by everything she stands for.
Maybe you love Griffin Dunn.
Speaking of Dunn. Oh, it is. It's Dave. Loud and clear. Dave wanted to know what his lowest movie score he's ever given before.
It was purely for academic purposes.
Purely. I thought that was hilarious.
I think that's fair.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of fair.
Oh yes, Brian is here. Hey. I'm very anxious to hear Brian's take on this movie. If you got to watch this movie,
I did not get to watch it. I'm very sorry.
Wow,
Brian.
I think
this could be Adam's first negative score.
I think anybody who has an interest in making movies needs to watch this movie.
You need to know what not to do.
This is a cautionary.
In the same way that everybody who loves cars should look at a Yugo once in a while.
Yes,
it's very true. Absolutely.
I was speaking of Yugo, but that doesn't make sense.
I got nothing.
Hello.
Amanda, hello. How are you?
Okay.
Are you okay?
I did watch this movie. And
have you recovered yet?
Well, as always, I think we have to go to Stacy for a recap as to why her love of Madonna has intrigued us all.
not a love of Madonna. It was it was a memory of really loving this movie because I was 18. You know? Yeah, I think I've seen it 3 times. And this was the 3rd time.
18, 18 and a half, and now.
No. I just Griffin Dunn has a lot to do with it, and because This Is Us brought him back from wherever he had been for the past.
Oh, he has quite the filmography.
Oh
Yeah, but I hadn't seen him in anything that I remembered seeing him in.
He's produced and directed, and he has been working
Johnny Dangerously
ever since being Tommy and
Johnny Kelly.
I didn't know that.
He was the brother who was an attorney.
I really loved him in this movie, and then when This Is Us brought him back, I'm like, who is that guy? Why do I know that name, Griffin Dunn? And I looked it up, and I went, oh my god, Griffin Dunn. Yeah, and Gryffindor. So I was pretty excited. So I thought when we started doing this movie thing, I'm like, yeah, we'll have to do that one just to see how it holds up, because it had been decades.
You have been waiting for your chance.
So many Griffin Dunn movies.
Well, I didn't know that, Dave. This is the one I knew him from. So, I remember really liking it, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it was still bad. But some of it was funny. Some of it was very 80s funny. Okay. Oh, it was 80s funny, not very 80s. I really like the Wendy jokes.
Don't blame the 80s for this humor.
No, I'm not. I like the Wendy jokes. I had her in my cap. That was funny. And her hair. I liked Wendy. Because I liked her hair. I liked her wedding gown. I was just that's the stuff that that really pulled me in. When I was 18 years old, was her, the good hair. She had good
She's drawn to the promiscuous characters.
But that's not what I was going for. I was going for the look.
Johnny Dangerously.
Oh my God. I did not know that.
I wasn't a kid.
Oh my gosh, is that?
Listen,
yeah.
All I ask is you don't tell Mom.
She's going to find out. Because when I put you behind bars, Johnny Dangerously, your picture's going to be on the front page of every newspaper.
He was so much better in that movie.
He was, actually.
I did not know that was him. Wow. I don't think I ever saw Johnny Dangerously the whole way through either.
You missed it when we reviewed Johnny Dangerously.
I did. And I
no one doesn't watch Johnny. My mother didn't watch Johnny Dangerously once.
That was the one joke that felt like a Johnny Dangerously joke was I had her in my cab.
Yes.
Hey.
I gave her a ride. I said I had her in my cab.
I took her anywhere.
So funny. So, yeah, that's why I chose it, though, because it was happy memories from when I was 18 years old, 1987 or so, 88. I think it was 88. And just thought, well, maybe it'll be good and nostalgic.
Well, speaking of nostalgic.
Oh, do you have a... Oh, wait, there she is. She finally appeared.
One ring to rule the moon. One ring to
It's Brittany.
There she is.
A wild Brittany appeared. Hello.
Did you make your way through Who's That Girl?
I didn't. We have had 4 awful, awful,
You have my congratulations.
Yes, you are. I am envious.
Ugh. I mean, that's what I've heard, so I'm not too bummed about it. But I was gonna try to sit down and watch it today, and it's
don't.
So I read the Wikipedia article on this and a couple other articles about Who's That Girl, and in nowhere could I get a reasoning behind the Betty Boop voice.
Right.
So whose pick was this?
This was Stacy's choice.
I didn't know that either. So
yeah, I was a senior or freshman year in college or something when it came out. So
I feel like that choice alone made the movie so unbearable.
Well, it's sort of like Kiefer Sutherland in Dark City, where he has that wheezing voice for the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I still love that movie, but that brings the movie down.
Yes, it's hard to get past the Betty Boop. It's just too much.
Even the cartoon at the beginning was her as Betty Boop.
It was, yeah.
And she requested that after the movie was done, she had requested that the opening credits start that way.
But the fact that they set up the movie as an animated cartoon in the opening credits
Right.
is really lazy script writing.
I didn't like that either.
Well,
I
the fact that
thought
they wrote
You
this
actually
movie
didn't
was
pay
really
attention
lazy
to
script
that.
writing.
That is true, Dan. That is very true.
So this movie was nominated for 5 Golden Raspberry Awards in 1988, including Worst Director, Worst Original Song, Worst Screenplay, and Worst Picture, and Madonna winning for Worst Actress.
Oh,
Seems fair.
All right.
The award-winning "Who's That Girl?"
Kudos all the way around.
yeah,
No,
she was
She's going for the regut.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Well, apparently she was so disappointed with the performance of Shanghai Surprise that was the decision of why she wanted to do a comedy.
That's why it came out.
And if you read the trivia section on IMDb, there's all these quotes from the director saying, "Yeah, I knew this was going to be a disaster before we started filming," and saying how bad Madonna's performance was and why he thought it was so bad. And yeah, it's really rough.
Well, here's the thing. You listed only Ken Finkelman as the screenwriter, and Ken Finkelman's written some shit, for lack of a better word. He wrote Grease 2. He wrote Airplane 2, the sequel. He also directed it. And that's about it. But there was also another screenwriter credited, Andrew Smith, who does not have a link on Wikipedia. And the story was actually by Andrew Smith. So we can blame him more than Ken Finkelman.
You see the story, but he did not write the screenplay.
No, it says on here, it says screenplay by Andrew Smith.
IMDb rates it differently, but that's all right.
Well, he's not, because he has no credits on IMDb.
Well, that would be why he's not on IMDb.
There you go.
Don't let anyone on IMDb these days.
I know Eric's on that.
That's true. That's true. Almost anybody. It's kind of crazy. So, I think this was my first time, or I had blocked it out. And it
came out the beginning of our senior year.
Turn to be watching Desperately Seeking Susan.
Well, that was one of the director's comments, was he felt that in Desperately Seeking Susan, Madonna had no idea what she was doing, so she just acted like herself. And in this movie, she was trying really hard to act.
Oh, yes.
And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is where the voice came from, because she was
Yeah.
a character. She was, doing something different. But I feel like
I can confidently say this is going to get my lowest score ever.
Oh,
wow.
Same. I continued throughout the movie to be very skeptical that she really got released from prison on good behavior based on everything she did.
She murdered a guy and only got 7 years.
Especially when part of your good behavior is going to be based on what the guards say of you, and guard hated her and vice versa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently once you cross a line, you can punch a guard with impunity.
If you take the plot holes, the premise, the bad writing, the bad acting, the bad directing, take all that away, it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
got
good movie.
I just looked up the director, and he's been nominated for Worst Director 3 times.
Oh.
Well, this was his first feature film. He had done an indie film before.
His first major feature film. His
Right,
first big studio feature film.
Right. Right. He had done a movie before this with Sean Penn, but then primarily music videos.
But then he started
Primarily Madonna music videos.
Yeah.
But then he did Glenn Ross. So he learned how to direct at some point.
And then he did 50 Shades Darker. But anyway.
Yeah.
50
Shades Free.
You learn from your mistakes.
Maybe.
Plus he did House of Cards. He directed 12 episodes of House of Cards.
And as Adam points out, she was able to milk this movie into a tour, which was hugely successful. Made so much more than the movie Lost.
Yeah, but just for her, not all the investors in the movie.
This is probably true.
Like I said, I need to bail. So if I give my score first, I will give my score first.
Go for it.
Oh wow. Okay. Are we doing scores all the way around, or do people want to talk some more?
Or do you just want to let Dan give his, then we'll continue?
Okay.
All right. Let's hear it, Dan. Good. Let's hear it.
Well, we're not allowed to give a 0 on this show. So we start with a 1. And then Liz Sheridan, Jerry Seinfeld's mother on Seinfeld.
Yes.
Played a small role in this.
Yes.
Stanley Tucci is in this movie.
Right?
Yep.
However,
and John Mills.
When you look at his list Oh, okay. So now there's another point. So I'm giving 2 points. 3. Now I'm up to 3 plus the 1. So I'm up to 4. Who's That Girl's Not a Horrible Song. I wish there was more, of great Madonna music in this. He is a legend, obviously.
Allegedly.
And I don't think I've ever given a single digit before, but I'm giving this a 9.
Wow, higher than I expected from that whole.
I know. I was counting him. I'm like, that's a 5.
He's in a generous mood.
I was at a 5, but I went up to 9.
Okay.
You got to have somewhere to go down just in case.
True.
Yeah.
This way you do have some remaining digits just in case something worse comes up.
Because we have had Police Academy movies on the reel,
I like the Police Academy movies. Eric, do you have my lowest score ever?
Dan, put them on the wheel. Do I have your lowest score ever? I do. I believe it was a 9. No, for today it was a 40 for Mixed Nuts.
Wow.
Wow. So this is
that's a steep drop.
31 points lower than Mixed Nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, that is quite the drop.
I'm in Adam territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you are. Maybe even below Adam. We'll have to see what Adam thought.
I doubt he's below Adam.
Ouch. It wasn't a musical.
That is true.
He didn't break into song.
It was sort of a romantic comedy, but not really, because there was no chemistry between those two whatsoever.
They fell so far in love. You didn't buy
In
that?
one day.
Really hard, too.
In one day.
He was totally ready to give up everything to follow street smart, madcap, wild, witty.
After that one car chase scene where he was like collapsing on the ground and having to
Why was he crawling around the car?
I think that was when he just like lost his mind, and from that point on, any decision making he did was
Maybe he died at that point, and everything afterwards was.
I know.
It's like Paul McCartney. Yeah, there was a double. Yeah.
Yeah, he was not in the right state of mind.
Again, the whole premise, though, that his job is to make sure she gets on a bus. Like that's going to make it so she can never come back.
She can never get off the bus or cause him any trouble. Yeah.
She can never tell the truth about what happened.
Oh, I could have taken my eyes off of that.
That's interesting.
Adam's going to give it higher.
It wasn't my dedication to this show.
I will say, I mentioned to Margaret earlier today, I laughed at this movie a lot more than some movies that I will have rated higher, but not for the right reasons. I was just like, you've got to be kidding me.
That's why I watch bad movies, though.
She's allowed to take her key into prison, but she's not allowed to take her plastic comb.
Of course.
I literally was angry after I finished watching it.
Yeah.
Dan was actually angry last night.
I started texting Eric, we need to make a rule.
Dan was going to be punished.
That you personally haven't seen recently or would rate 80 or higher.
Hey, Dan, you've picked movies.
Oh, I know, I have.
Oh, yeah, I pointed that out.
THX 1138, anyone?
That's exactly what Eric said.
That is.
And I think I gave that the lowest score of anybody that picked their own movie, which tonight may be broken.
I think
Stacey tends to not give really abysmal scores. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah. In terms of Adam saying this would be when you can't take your eyes off, I agree with Dan in that I was primarily angry the whole time I was watching this. I think my dad can attest to me just kind of
watched it. I love
it the whole time.
She would just look up from it and go, but.
Yeah.
I was playing on my 3DS because I couldn't pay full attention. The movie just made me very angry. And it just like her character was so unlikable to a level where every time she talked, it was grating. The tricks, and then just driving away. Just
I know. Yeah, tricks. That was awful.
And it just made me very, very angry. And I can enjoy like hate watching movies, but this was bad enough to the point that I just did not enjoy it at any level.
It went beyond the point of being so bad it's good to being bad again.
Yes. Yeah. With the one redeeming character being this guy, being Bucky. I like the character.
I will say I thought the bridesmaids being tied up was pretty funny. That was the one joke that I was okay with.
Are you girls together?
Oh yeah, you girls together.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go.
See you, Dan.
Have fun. I'll try to tune in if I can, or if not, I'll watch the replay. Good luck, whoever gets to pick. Please pick a classic Oscar-winning movie for next week. Godfather.
Oscar winners aren't always good either.
Godfather?
That is true.
That is true.
I don't want to watch Shakespeare in Love. But...
Or Gandhi.
True. Okay.
See you, Dan.
My favorite quote that I wrote down, which is going to give it a couple points above a 1 in my mind, was at the very end when it was the "You'll take care of me, Bucky." Of course, I'm very muscular.
Yes.
That was good. And then the like, "Oh, Bucky, could you be any more dumb?" I don't think so. Pretty much everything with him was just
Buck was pretty good.
Yeah, he was good, and it was like a dumb funny with like without being grating that I actually enjoyed.
But then to counter that, there's it's the pimp and the fat man. I thought I'd killed them.
And how chill I don't remember either the characters' names, but the main guy, how chill he was with just
Loudon.
Loudon, yes, they did mention it a lot. With how like casual he was with just like killing them and didn't seem to bat an eye.
Oh yeah, he was okay with that pretty much.
He had just like
Again,
killed 2
the
people.
head injury he probably suffered.
That's a good point. That's true. Everything post that car chase is all head injury. With then him being wheeled into the hospital and her just continually pushing him down on the bed and telling this weird narrative about.
And nobody seeming to notice that she's constantly shoving him down onto the gurney.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, okay, we're gonna. Okay, so he claims that he's fences, and yet this is like the worst fencing scene I've ever seen. The pirate movie, Chet Atkins in the pirate movie has a better fencing scene.
Of course.
Well, of course, we did watch one of the all-time great fencing scenes in The Princess Bride.
The Princess Bride, right? Yeah. It's like, all right, these are people who clearly have never held a sword before.
And he's a lefty, which is very unusual, too.
It is very unusual. But it's like, it's just madcap. It's madcap humor. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly five motorcycle cops for the 5 bridesmaids.
Oh my goodness.
7 cops for 7 sisters, or
yeah.
And
doesn't this make you want to watch it again?
I mean, at least she isn't talking in this part of the movie.
I mean, I am a little bit curious now what I'm missing. This is insane.
Don't be.
What
literally
is
the worst
happening?
movie I've ever seen.
I don't know. It sounds like you guys had
Brittany, you
fun
gotta
watching
watch
it, though.
We had fun because it was such a train wreck. If I had been watching this alone, I would have been miserable. But laughing at it with Amanda, although again, she was more angry than laughing. And Margaret.
I feel like you guys were having a little more fun. I was mostly just seething, which is never an experience I've had watching a movie before. So I guess.
I've gotten very angry at movies before.
Wow,
that's so funny.
It was a new experience. Then you've opened more doors, Stacey. You have introduced people to a whole new way to watch movies.
Well, I think that's part of the fun of this. You have to rate all the movies, not just the good ones. And
I don't begrudge you picking it. It was interesting to have seen it. I mean, I don't have a problem with you having picked it.
I think
your life is different now.
I think she should be on double secret probation for a
I
while.
don't think I've even seen a Madonna movie before, to be fair. So it's not a great first start, I guess. But I mean,
she's a terrible actor.
Well, either.
She's a terrible actor. She can do okay in small roles like A League of Their Own, but if she has to carry a movie, she's awful.
If she's not doing that voice, I feel like it would be better, though.
That voice, honestly, I feel like it would have been a different movie had she not been doing that voice.
I mean,
it would have been great. But it might have been watchable or rewatchable.
I mean, that's one of the reasons A League of Their Own is so interesting is because Madonna's not a good actor, but she's good in that role. Rosie O'Donnell is really not a very good actor, but she's good in that role. They managed to take these comedians and non-actors and give them small roles and make it actually very fun.
Yeah.
Whereas
I think that's a lot, and that's somewhat the director. You got to take Penny Marshall as the director versus this dude. All right, I think it's time. Let's throw some numbers around and see where she lands. All right, Stacey, it's the moment you've been waiting for.
I guess I have to go first, don't I?
You have to go first. Well, after Dan.
Well, I mean, before
after Dan set the stage.
Okay, I did expect it to be worse than I remembered, and it was. but not as bad as you guys are having it be. I'm pretty sure, because there still is that nostalgia thing, but I probably won't watch it again. Madonna's butt cheeks showed themselves a couple too many times with that fan
Just
service.
so unlike her.
We did have to go back to the beginning of the movie to find Stanley Tucci, and we found him far, far away. We could almost see his face because we love Stanley Tucci. Well, again, I love Griffin Dunn. I think this movie is about a 58 for me.
Wow.
So this is not even your least favorite movie.
I was going to say that's pretty
No,
low.
it's not. Again, that's not nostalgia factor, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, you did give a 55 once to Somewhere in Time. But we won't tell Dan about that. So you did rate this higher than Somewhere in Time. So that's
good.
That's probably more than fair. All right, who on the couch is going next?
Yeah, so I think this is the first time I've seen it, and it makes sense because I was wondering if it did come out after Shanghai Surprise, because after that I was like, I'm not watching anything she makes. Other than music videos, she does those pretty good, but man, movies, Shanghai Surprise really ruined it. But I do like the nostalgia of the '80s hair and all that stuff, and it was a pretty good train wreck.
Yeah,
all the way around.
We do like train wreck movies.
Yeah,
sure you do.
But yeah, I'm going to give it just an even 50.
50. All right.
Tying your lowest score ever.
Yeah, I don't have the nostalgia factor, so it's gonna go down a lot. There were definitely parts I thought were like funny-ish. You know, like I liked whenever. Well, okay, the only part that I thought was funny the whole movie was whenever Madonna ran up to the cab driver or the guy that was gonna get in the cab, screamed at him, and then got in the car. Like that was so funny to me because you just don't expect it. You're like, what? Like I don't know why I didn't expect it. It just took me by surprise, and I was like, But I also think that that's just stuff that I find funny anyway. But in movies, not in real life, because that's irritating. But but I just like there were so many pieces of it that I was like, that in a movie that was written well, you'd be like, oh yeah, of course this would happen. Like you have a cougar in your back seat, there's gonna be problems. You know what I mean? Like you think that regardless, but like none of it worked. It was all just like way too much for no reason to follow Madonna around, and it was just weird. Like it didn't, for some reason, none of it fit together for like the way that they think that they expected. I don't know. It just was like, it wasn't, I don't even know what to say about it. Like it just was a lot for no reason, but like, I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle of Adam's comment of you can't look away, but also Amanda being like, I was playing on my DS. Like that's how I felt. I was like in the middle of it where I was like, okay, like that's kind of how I felt about it. So I think I'm with like a 37.
37. All right.
She did say that the story kind of moved along, like you kind of could understand what was happening.
Well, who was the real estate guy who owned the cat?
Right.
Why was that even in this movie at all?
Right. Well, they could have Madonna bond. They could have a good aspect to her terrible character, and that she was good at bonding with cats.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird.
It belonged to somebody, I guess. I don't know. All right, Dave, let's hear it.
It was bad. Has anyone ever seen Something Wild with Jeff Daniels and Melanie Griffith?
No. I don't think so.
I have.
Okay. That came out the year before, and this movie clearly was trying to be that movie.
Really?
With Jeff Daniels as this uptight guy who's stuck with this wild woman who who he's stuck with and can't get away from, who's leading him around and of course falls in love with by the end. It's the same basic. I mean, the details of why they're together are different, but it's the same basic movie.
Yeah.
And that's not a great movie, but it's a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is just bad. There's almost no good acting in it. There is a little. The writing is
the cat
horrible.
was very believable. The cougar was totally believable.
The writing is horrible.
Yeah.
The directing is bad. The writing is the worst part of it, but the performances don't follow much behind it because there's just so much mugging for the camera.
Yeah.
And Madonna mugging for the camera. and the close-ups on reaction shots, and it's almost as bad as Arnold Schwarzenegger in Jingle All the Way when here he goes, oh, it's just, it is just awful. We've watched movies that I had less fun watching than this because they were just like THX 1138 was just unpleasant.
Oh,
yeah.
It's rough.
But this movie was a worse movie.
Yeah.
It succeeded at nothing.
It ended.
So I think I'm not going to go quite a Dan though. I decided this before the broadcast. I'm at a 10.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't quite go single digits.
That's all right. That's all right. I said you gotta leave a bottom. You gotta leave a bottom just in case, unless you feel this is it, Amanda.
Yeah, so as I said, this movie made me very angry. I was happy to hear Dan say that because, like, okay, cool, I'm not the only one who just was in a bad mood.
But it elicited emotion. It did elicit an emotion.
I'm not sure that was the emotion they were trying to elicit, but it did elicit an emotion. There were just so many things. Like, even, like, as I mentioned, Madonna's grating performance was the main thing that ruined it for me. Both the accent and her poor acting, but also there was nothing likable about the character. She just I could see she's kind of crazy and has been cooped up for a while, but she wants to clear her name with the driving wildly, but then she just starts robbing places randomly. She kills people without seeming any regard to, like, she just is completely unlikable in every regard. She is constantly lying to Loudon about things that don't matter. Like, they don't need to drive like a maniac to get there. He could have driven, but like, I don't. It just pissed me off. Why was the cat at the wedding? When they were belonging to this one business guy.
Why was the cat chasing the bus at the end?
Yep, who knows? Just so they could have Madonna interacting with the cat more because it was the one redeeming feature.
Right, the cats loved her.
And don't forget the Jungle Woman.
Yes, the
Jungle Woman. What was the Jungle Woman?
It's his wife. It's apparently their life. So that was cute. I did like that. That was funny. I felt like all the plot was just explained in these dumps of Madonna talking very fast, explaining what had happened to her. That and like the opening sequence, as we said. To be fair, I actually liked the opening sequence.
Right? Yes.
It was cute,
but not with the movie.
No, I agree with the movie. I feel like you shouldn't have to rely on watching the opening credits in detail. We had to pause and rewind because my mom had stepped into the room and it's like, no, wait, there's important plot stuff to be able to you need to go back and see it. Which was weird. The insane gun guy who was just shooting up his inside of his own shop for no reason. There was just so much about this movie. As I said, Buck was the redeeming quality for me in the two scenes he was in. It was genuinely funny when he was there. Otherwise, I was just mad. So this is my lowest score before this. I think was a 27 or 29 for This Is 40. This is way worse than that. I'm going to give this a 6.
A 6? Wow.
Yeah.
We're in record-breaking territory tonight. This is kind of awesome. Of course, we haven't heard from Adam. Adam might have loved it. Who knows?
Based on his comment, it looks like he loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. He did say this movie. Oh boy, that could go either way.
Oh boy,
my favorite.
That girl. There you go.
Oh my.
I will give mine, and then we did get Adam's. Here's Adam's up. You can play this movie during interrogation, and the person would confess in about 10 minutes. The movie it's a 5, but he likes Stacy.
Thanks, Adam.
So there you go.
That's
you did
sweet.
5 free points from Adam. I ended up at a 17 is where I ended up for myself. I still think I'd watch this before I'd ever watch Super Troopers again, which is the lowest movie ever, which I truly hated. And so I feel like it's close. I gave Super Troopers a 15 for all the reasons that we just talked about it. Like, honestly, I wasn't quite as mad at the end of this movie as I have been at some movies, but I would have turned it off. If I was just watching it because I was like, oh, I never watched this before, I never would have made it to the end. So 17 from me, which means we do have a lowest scored movie of all time.
No, it's lower than Howard the Duck.
Oh, yes. Considerably. Stacey.
Do I win a prize?
Oh wait.
Oh
Oh, wait, we got Dan's mom. Dan's mom just weighed in.
She just
okay,
wait.
that's not going to help, but I don't think
She gives it a 20. I don't know. It couldn't hurt at this point.
that's true.
Hold on. I made a mistake. Hold on. Let me get this in here. Get her score where it belongs.
I think that made it worse.
It did actually make it worse. Sorry about that.
I should get a prize. I should get a prize for this.
You should get a prize.
We should not reward this behavior.
I should get a shirt.
You will not be allowed to pick a movie for 6 months. I do agree. So, Stacy, congratulations. Replacing Howard the Duck after all these years.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
No, you spelled the name wrong, but that's okay.
That's all right. Who cares at this point?
The girl. We don't even
Girl.
remember her. We blocked her out. Like
Howard that Duck.
I'm okay with forgetting.
There you go. 26.
There isn't even a mystery about who the girl is. We all know from the beginning who she is.
I think.
Well, that was the name. The name was not originally "Who's That Girl." After Madonna wrote the song, they decided to rename the movie and make that the titular
What
song.
was the original title?
Was it Shack or it was it had to be, it had to do with being in prison. It was
Oh, okay. That would make more sense.
Slammer.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not a good name either, but
Which is a terrible name. Yeah.
Terrible movie name for a movie too. Because she wasn't in the
but Eric, then the byline could be "I hardly know her."
Oh man.
that would have been
my. Well, there you go. 23.60. And if you remove the highest and lower score, it's 21.29. Situation at all by removing the highest and the lowest score. Howard the Duck has been there for a long time as our
Howard the Duck was like the 10th movie or something like that.
That was our 6th movie that we ever watched. So Howard the Duck has been in the lowest position since July of 2020. And has now
she needs like a shirt with the number on it.
The gauntlet has been thrown down now.
Say, my goodness, that's going to be a challenge, I think, to come up with a movie that's going to score lower.
Well, how many people scored Howard the Duck?
I could do it.
I was going to say I have a couple on my list.
I could do it, but I won't.
Well, we appreciate you not doing that.
See, I'm not going to include movies that try to be bad, like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes or things like that.
Yeah.
There were 5 people who rated Howard the Duck.
And we had 1, 2, 3,
9,
4, 5, 6.
Yeah, quite a group. Quite a group tonight. Yeah. So
but Dan's mom was almost spot on there, and that was a 20. That was
yeah, absolutely. So nice job. We survived. All right. So now it is time. I am where I'm at. There we go. Double feature time. I think double feature. All right, so many of the people who have not gotten to choose a double feature yet are not with us tonight, which means there are only 4 people who have not gotten to choose a double feature since we reset the double feature wheel, leaving us with Reagan, Dan's mom, Susan, Amanda, and myself. We're the only 4 who have not gotten to choose a double feature since, and this has been going on a while. We reset this quite a while ago.
Yeah.
And so this is pretty good. So unless there's somebody lurking in the comments that I don't know about, and I don't think there is, I think we're ready to go. Rebecca, Cody, and Dan are not here, so I am going to reset. I'm going to shuffle. I know.
Oh, that made a big difference.
Now, if Reagan wins, by the way, this would mark our 5th week of rider-related picked movies.
And 2 of those being double features.
Oh wow, that's
in a row.
It would be our 5th movie of rider-related choices.
5th movie. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
What site is this wheel on anyway? Riders.com or?
I believe it is sponsored in part by Riders for Us. All right, here we go. Let's find out who gets to choose a double feature. for next week. It's gonna go around and around and end on. It's Amanda.
Well then, I will think.
Give it some thought. Yeah,
that's right. You give that some thought.
I'm going to step away and look at my DVD shelf.
And we will talk about now who has not gotten to choose a TV series. Brian, Stacy, Reagan, Wade. All right, hold on. I'm gonna have to set up a new wheel.
Bondi Rescue, yeah.
Is it available?
I'm gonna check.
So even though the writers didn't get the double feature, they may still get the TV series.
I was gonna say, it's very likely.
The problem is we all have the same.
And pulls off a. And I don't think Dan's mother has gotten to choose. Oh, Dan and Adam has not chosen a movie, a TV series. And I don't think Dan's mother. I don't know. Susan, are you interested in choosing a movie, a TV series for us to watch? Let us know. We are going to hope that it's available. Whatever you choose, hopefully it's available for streaming somewhere. That's all we ask, that you would not expect people to go buy.
Amanda did choose one of our highest rated movies ever with the Into the Spider-Verse. So there's hope that this will go well.
There is well, there are 2 Harry Potter movies. No, I'm kidding. You still have quite a pile of Harry Potter movies.
We've only watched 3 so far. So.
Yeah, we did.
When we did our Christmas Harry Potter marathon, since we were watching them anyways, I wrote down all of my. So I now have all my.
Oh, you
Harry
have that
Potter
waiting in the
toys.
wings.
Oh, very nice.
Ready to go. I was like, well, I'm watching them anyways, so might as well.
All right. And Amanda has not gotten to choose a TV series, so I will add her to this.
Oh, that could be interesting.
I thought
this could be a whole.
I chose a TV. I chose Schitt's Creek.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She did New Girl.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
no,
right.
I did New Girl.
Oh no, that's right. She
I
did.
did Schitt's Creek.
Now, Brittany,
Yeah,
you did as well. Brittany, you were New Girl, right?
Yeah.
I did Sherlock.
Right, you did Sherlock.
Fantastic
Dan
choice,
did
by the
Seinfeld.
way.
Dan did Seinfeld.
You
I
did
think we're
Monkeys.
ready. We're gonna spin this. We're gonna spin this for TV, for TV's sake. While Amanda has a chance to consider her option, I'm gonna give it. Whoa, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna give it a shuffle. Is what I'm gonna
It's
do.
half riders.
It is a lot of riders. Riders on the Storm. Here we go. Choosing a TV series for the month of February for us to watch and enjoy as much as possible is going to go to
Ryan.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Barely through on Reagan. Look at that. So close.
Both times too. I was ready for both.
Okay.
Crazy.
I have to think. I think I know what I'm going to choose.
All right.
I got to think just a little
Take
while.
as long as you need.
Take as long as you need. And justwatch.com is a great place to check to see if it's streaming somewhere.
That's always
Well,
a good
I already
point,
know
yeah.
I know it's streaming. I just don't
Excellent.
know which one I want to choose.
That is
Manimal.
Like I wish I could choose like a whole franchise. But that's a little bit.
Doctor
Because
Who.
You don't want just Baywatch. You also want the Baywatch sequels and the
Right. Yeah.
The BCU. So yeah.
So we do. What else have we been watching while we wait for folks?
I think we could talk a little bit about what else you've been watching. Not that I threw out my TV out after watching Who's That Girl. I couldn't take. I'm like, I'm done.
I was old for that show. It was cute, but it was just not. I didn't care. It was cute though. We're too old. Who's that girl?
New Girl.
Oh, that girl.
That girl's
Marlo
cute.
Thomas. I loved Marlo Thomas. In
That was a fun series. Yeah.
That was cute.
That was adorable.
Ernie Capel was on that. He played the neighbor. So
I had
cool.
no idea.
But it was very much Marlo Thomas's show. In the same way that there's certain times when one actor carries the show, and that was her.
Yeah, she was cute.
That girl available to watch on Peacock and Fubo. If you're looking to watch 5 seasons, Peacock has 5 seasons of that girl available.
Wow.
Yeah. Which I'm assuming is all of them. I'm going to assume that they didn't. Yeah, it does look like there were only 5 seasons. Yep. So all 1966.
Is she still married to Phil Donahue?
She is.
Wow.
That's funny. I remember that story, how they kind of just clicked on his show. And that was it.
No, it's also on. It's like everywhere.
I used to watch it all the time growing up.
Like everywhere. It's on Freevee.
It was
It's
one of
on-
those after-school shows. It was
It's
it was
on
the
Red
Munsters.
It's on Tubi.
And Star Trek. And
Oh my god! It literally. If you want to watch that girl, it's available for streaming on like every platform for free.
It's adorable.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Her dad drove me crazy, but I loved her mom.
He was a little bit stiff. Yeah.
A little bit.
You know, wow. I mean, back in my day when we only had 4 channels to watch, you were watching
If you turned the antenna, you could also bring in Steubenville, but
you were 7 years old, you were watching that girl because that's what was on.
Yep. Exactly.
You're like,
this
all
is
right.
why we watch Hogan's Heroes too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That music comes on, he sits down.
I get sucked into the intro, man. I watch it past the intro, I'm sucked into it.
He doesn't go to bed then.
What was the show? Fort? Was there was a show called?
Oh, Fort.
F Troop.
F Troop. Yes.
Larry Storch.
F Troop.
That was F. I used to really like F Troop.
That was
Get
a cute
Smart.
one.
There were so many comedy sitcoms that they would show in syndication at that point. It was just there was
We've seen them all.
yes.
Please Don't Eat the Daisies. Loved that.
Oh,
Brady Bunch, Part
Go
Two.
to Mrs. Muir.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that was a good one.
Anyone else remember Nanny and the Professor?
Well,
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just
There's
reading
one
about that
episode on
because-
YouTube.
It was like Nick at Night, but that was all you had to watch.
Well, when Channel 53 came along,
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I watched it on.
yeah.
It was all the shows that your parents watched that now are like, are these people still
Oh
alive?
yeah. I like Adam's comment.
This was what was on.
What's that?
Adam's comment's a good one.
Oh, what did he say? I'm sorry. I've got too many screens open. Let me see. First that. And then that.
Gomer Pyle, USMC. Oh yeah.
I gotta watch that one.
Golly! Oh,
Golly, Sergeant Carter.
The early seasons
I'm
of
gonna
Ghost
watch
Style
some
I can deal
Group.
with. It's
I'm gonna
the
tell you
later
right
ones.
now.
We had Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie.
Oh,
and-
Bewitched was really good.
Oh, look at them.
And
Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
Ken Berry.
Man,
Look
how
how
much
young
longer
they
do I have?
were. Oh my
Larry
God.
Storch, Ken Berry. Oh
Only
yeah.
2 seasons. Only 2 seasons of F Troop.
Yes. Larry
Yeah.
Storch just died last year or the year before.
Yeah, he saw Who's That Girl and it had lost the will to live.
Not back anymore.
So, I don't think you're gonna like the shirt that comes out of this, Stacey.
Hey.
Rose, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
I don't know. The one group you still seem to be able to poke fun at is the Nazis.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we did talk about what was the
We did Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit. Yeah, I was gonna say that sort of proved that. Oh man, so how's everybody doing with their choices? Still thought anything that?
I've narrowed it down to 4, and I'm picking down 2 of these
Okay.
four now.
That would be
and
a-
there's, and
that
there's
would be-
one definite, and I'm trying to figure out what pairs best with it of these 3.
Okay.
So, I like.
Okay, so you've got one.
Is
and
it
you're
white
considering
or
the second.
red?
Yeah. So we've been watching the Jack Ryan on Amazon.
Oh yeah.
They finally
already watched all of it.
season 3 came out a few months ago, and I'll be honest with you, first 2 or 3 episodes we were dragging.
Yeah,
This,
yeah.
this the 3rd season gets a very slow start, but it did pick up. We're about a little over halfway through, and it's like, all right, I'm in. I want to see how it ends. But for the first 3 episodes, I'm like, maybe just go to bed. Oh man,
I did enjoy. Was it Amazon? They did. I watched this about a year ago, actually, but not quite. It was probably about 8 months ago. The Amazon version of Jack Reacher. That is much better than the Tom Cruise, but mainly because the guy that's playing Jack Reacher is actually taller than 6'2". I mean 5'2". Because if Tom Cruise, who's supposed to play this massively physically intimidating character, and it just doesn't work.
It's really funny.
But the guy that plays it on the Amazon series is very, very much looks the role.
Intimidating. Brittany threw in the comments that she just watched The Walk to Remember.
Mandy Moore.
Mandy Moore pre This Is Us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Way previous.
Nicholas Sparks movie.
I didn't know. I'd never seen it, and I also didn't realize it was Nicholas Sparks.
Yeah.
It's a tearjerker, right? That's a
well, double
usually are.
tearjerker because Richard very much forgot the part of the movie where she's basically dying in the hospital, and so that was like he was in tears. That was very traumatic for him. Like he was like, I
Nicholas
was
Sparks
not
movies are
even.
traumatic.
Well, that's the first movie like that we've watched since I came home from the hospital. So that was like,
Yeah.
so he was like crying.
Yeah, that's pretty awful. Yeah.
He's like, ooh, I forgot about that.
He was going for all the feels.
Yeah.
And he doesn't cry for like anything ever. Like I think in the 10 years we've been together, I've seen him cry 5 times, maybe.
Make him watch Who's That Girl? No, I'm kidding. Just kidding.
He'll just be angry.
Tears of rage.
But if you're ever feeling like you want a dose of anger, it's a good one to get it from.
That just cracks me up that people are like, that movie made me angry. And I've probably been made angry by movies and don't remember because it's not very often.
I've been made angry by movies because they're like, what an unpleasant character, or what a jerk, things like that. This is the movie making is what made you angry.
And the character.
And the character was a big part of it for me.
She didn't help.
No.
Oh man.
Okay.
Crazy.
I'm just confirming watchability of these, and then I'm
understood.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
We finished both the British Ghosts and the American Ghosts.
Oh.
They're
so
cute.
what did you think of the comparison between the two? Because I've seen a few episodes of each.
Well,
British is better.
We like the British better. The American version is very similar, but it seems more adult, Reagan says, and I think not as clever, even though it's the same material in some ways.
Yeah, the first few episodes I watched, they were even using pretty much the British scripts. It was really not different at all.
Yeah, and then they've gone not their own direction, like far off left or anything, or far north or whatever. They just aren't as funny, but they're still funny. I can't tell you what the difference is because I can't figure it out.
We've discussed British sitcoms before in American remakes, and one of the problems is you have to churn out so much material for an American series. You're talking 22 episodes versus maybe 8 for a British season. And that can be exhausting for the writers and for all of the creative teams.
But they still are keeping it pretty fresh for having as many episodes that I think they've done 2 seasons. They've done more episodes than the British 3 seasons that we've seen. And they've done pretty well. I don't like the basement ghosts as well in the American version. Even though they're funny, I like the other ones differently. But there's just little things like that. I know some of the characters are really, really great. I love Mary in the British series, and she's the one that they burned at the stake.
Yeah.
I don't know why I love her. I just do.
She's
just
so
cute. So
she's so sweet.
She's the sweetest.
That's a great comment from somebody who's never seen any of this.
I just love. Well, I like the British one a lot better. Like I don't even really. I watched the American one because it's on, but like I like the British one so much more because it's like it's sweeter in this weird sense where it's like it's like smart. Like they do things the right way. And like the American version like is just I don't know how to explain it, but like the British version kind of reminds me of the Haunted Mansion in Disney where you're like, ooh, this is fun and like creepy and it like makes sense and it's like playful. It's not like scary, but then it's also not stupid. Like I don't like a lot of the jokes or a lot of the things in there, but in the American one, but like the way that they do in the American one, they're in the bathroom and Jay can't see the ghosts and he's like, oh no, they're gonna see me naked or whatever, and he gets like, and then he comments on it. But the way that they do that in the British one is you watch. His name's not Jay, but it's the same guy. It's the husband who can't see the ghost. And he's like stressing out, like, oh my gosh, I have to take a shower and they're going to see me. Like, I can't do it. So then he takes his towel off and he's wearing a swimsuit and he hops in the shower real fast and it closes the curtain. And then you see Mary sitting in the tub, like, oh, like it's like that stuff is funny, but in the American version they make it like over sexualized and like all this weird stuff.
And
And it's not
They
funny.
tell you too much,
Americans.
showing you.
Yeah.
I
and
also
it's-
think that the casting of the couple is better in the British version, and I don't
Yeah, I
dislike
agree.
the American couple. I think they're okay, but I just found the British couple more charming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
That's a good word for it, like all the way around, I think.
Yeah, it's a charming, clever show, and the thing is, the people who wrote the British version are involved in the American one, so that's still why it's still okay. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, I have my movie choices.
Yay!
Yay!
We
All
are
right.
doing one that I remember from my childhood that I haven't seen in a while, but
Oh, it's Who's That Girl too? No.
no, this was one I was obsessed with in high school, so I'm curious.
Okay, so not when you were really young.
A
No,
similar
not like a
story to how we ended up with Who's That Girl.
There you go. Shanghai Noon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the second,
Scared
and
me
then
for
the
a second.
I became a big Owen Wilson
You
fan.
guys going to say Shanghai Surprise, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
And then after that,
Wow.
and then the second one is Kubo and the Two Strings.
Ah,
Seriously?
Oh,
You're
I
my
missed
favorite
that. I
human.
did not hear what it was.
wow.
I heard that was
The
good.
first
That
Jackie
was
Chan
on when
Yeah,
that was on Richard's list. He was going to say that when he first
Oh.
started watching, and then he didn't get picked to say it.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Wow.
So that's-
I do remember him putting on the wheel. That
oh yeah, that was back when we picked the movie to put on the wheel, and then
was at one point
I
that
thought we had
was on the wheel. I do remember that.
Do your Owen Wilson impression. Wow.
wow.
Wow. I heard he makes more money per wow than most people would expect. So
you, get
Shanghai Noon,
you get John Wayne jokes?
Yeah, Shanghai Noon, not Shanghai Nights, the first one.
Yeah.
Shanghai Noon or Shanghai Nights? I'm confused.
Shanghai Noon.
Shanghai Noon, the first one.
Nights is the sequel. Which
Not the
I
sequel.
consider just
Which
doing
is
both of those. But I
available
was like,
for-
yeah, let's change it up.
That's available for rent on all the platforms.
Yes, and then Kubo is free with ads on Pluto TV, but also available to rent without ads on.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I think that's more than fair.
Waiting for Brian's TV show.
Oh my.
Yes.
Yes. And your bonus, if you want to watch
like,
Shanghai
I'm
Nights.
back and forth and between two. I think I know which one I'm going to choose.
Oh boy.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thought: is do you have an equal ability to pick the episodes for us to recommend for both shows?
I mean, they're in
Okay.
the same franchise.
Oh.
Do you want to do both?
The same franchise.
Yeah.
We don't need to do both.
No.
So it's going to be How I Met Your Mother and How I Met Your Father.
No.
Boy Meets World and Girl Meets World?
No. It's Star Trek. I want to do.
Oh.
I was thinking The Next Generation or Deep Space Nine.
Mm.
And,
Go Next Generation.
You don't like Deep Space Nine?
Well, Deep Space Nine, the problem is the best episodes of Deep Space Nine are part of story arcs. And that's harder to do in this piecemeal watching thing.
Yeah.
It's true.
There
'cause-
are a lot of really good episodes that I remember more from Deep Space Nine that I
But
really
pick whichever
liked.
one you prefer. That's just
that's
my...
the one I was leaning towards. So I'm gonna go with that one.
Okay, Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
Deep Space Nine.
And I
Wow.
will put the episodes as soon as possible in the chat.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's good. I haven't really seen those ones. So.
I know nothing about Deep Space Nine. Is there anything?
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Really, I've never. Honestly, the only Star Trek series I've even seen part of is the original.
It's got the one actor. Who's the name of the actor who is he's a Pittsburgh guy who plays the one Cardassian leader.
Oh, I don't know. He's good though. I don't know his name.
I can't remember his name. What's his name? I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Star Trek.
Deep Space Nine, 1993 was when it came on.
Ooh.
My only thing with Deep Space Nine, I don't want to discuss it too much. I did get a little tired of the whole Ferengi thing, but other than that, I really enjoyed it.
The Ferengi, yeah.
I got sick of the Ferengi.
Mm-hmm.
They were funny at points and then ridiculous. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out who the guy is that you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it myself.
It's not Ducat, it's the other guy, right?
That's what I'm trying to remember. It's been too long since I looked at this.
All right, available on Paramount Plus. All 7 seasons are available on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, and the new seasons of Picard are supposed to come out in a couple of weeks too.
Yeah, the
I haven't
trailer
watched
came
any
out.
of the new stuff. I quit watching Discovery. I wasn't liking it as much.
I've heard that Picard is
Picard
very
wasn't
well received by diehard Star Trek original fans.
I'm just going to say this guy in the middle of this picture on the left is not helping my desire to watch this.
The one with the ears?
Yeah.
Oh, he's hilarious, though.
Which one?
The
The
guy right here in the
Ferengi.
The
middle.
weird alien guy in the middle.
Yeah.
The guy with the butt for a
Ferengi.
head.
He's
Oh, the
hilarious.
Ferengi. The Ferengi, yeah.
He's hilarious in the beginning, at least.
Yeah.
He does get
That
annoying
does,
sometimes.
that does nothing to make me want to watch this.
I really enjoyed Odo, but they sometimes overused him, but he was a really good character.
Yeah,
Worf was
yeah.
good. Worf was the carryover from Next Generation.
Yep.
7 seasons available on Paramount.
It started out very episodic, but then they gradually started to get into more longer story arcs.
Yep.
So we will be talking about that on the February 27th. So you have 4 weeks to watch as much Deep Space Nine as you can. Wow.
His name was is it Garak? Is that what it was?
That sounds familiar, but
yeah, he's like this. I mean, well, that's a spoiler. I don't know if we should say.
Yeah,
it.
don't say anything.
No.
Never mind.
You don't want to ruin it for people.
Yeah.
No, it's too late. I can't watch now.
It was all a dream. He wakes up in the shower.
Right. What was the second movie? Because I didn't hear it.
Kubo and the Two Strings.
Kubo and the Two Strings,
Okay.
which gets enormously high rankings from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes. There's a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics and 86 from the audience.
It is a very good movie.
Yes,
Both
and I love
movies-
stop motion animation.
Both the movies you chose, Amanda, have higher critic scores than audience scores. Interesting.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
yeah.
That's because she's so highbrow.
What's
you know.
what's the disparity for Shanghai Noon?
So it's 80 and 65,
Oh wow, okay.
and then it's 97 and 86. So yeah, so 10, 11, and then 15 between the two. Interesting.
Wow.
You know.
I've seen-
On the
I've seen
flip
Shanghai
side,
Noon.
the audience really liked Who's That Girl more than the critics. Just saying.
I wonder how much that audience was just Madonna fans who were like, "It's Madonna."
Yeah.
You know, like Stacy.
She's so misunderstood. You know. Yeah, don't get rid of your Who's That Girl tattoo. It's fine.
Yeah, I have no tattoo.
I'm still waiting for the Criterion Collection Blu-ray to come out. So.
I told you last week that I gave away the soundtrack to
Right.
this movie to one of my students who was so excited. So excited
Adam-
to have it.
Adam had the name of the guy. I think it's Andrew Robinson that you were thinking of.
Could be.
Yeah.
Adam says, get this. Adam says Kubo is a great
Ooh.
movie.
That's
Get ready
exciting.
for that.
Wow.
Cool.
Also says,
It's one of the ones next week. We'll get into that
73.
one.
That's what he says.
so that's kind of exciting.
Here you go, Eric. This is what you need.
What do I need now?
Hold on one second. I need to trim this URL to get rid of the garbage. This is you can't do it for EriDan, but that's the shirt right there.
Uh-oh. What am I missing? Okay, hold on. I got to follow a link. Oh, I got a link. What do we got? Oh, that is actually really good. I they would take me down if I put that
Well,
on.
as long as one person bought it before you got
One
taken
person
down.
bought it first. Stacy, there's your shirt. There's the shirt you want. Look at that. Why would I buy it? You can just buy it here on eBay from not here.
From
Japan.
China.
China.
China. Yeah.
No thanks.
Oh, look at that. No,
It's
I
shipping
have.
from the US. Why is your eBay in Chinese? When I open the link, it's in English.
Yeah, I don't know why you must have been recently visiting a Chinese
Yeah, like
eBay
that's just your
auction.
eBay settings. That's not the link.
I'm on regular eBay because I was finding this.
It says it's located in New Paltz, New York, United States.
$25, Stacy, for a sealed copy of Who's That Girl on cassette.
Ooh, does it have bonus features?
So if you wonder what your student did with it, here he is right here hawking it after never have opened it.
It was open. It was open.
People reseal things and sell them like that.
Oh man,
yeah.
look at
Or you
that.
can get a press kit. There you go.
Whoa, look at that. Whoa, look how vintage that is. It's so vintage.
Yeah.
There is someone selling a press kit on eBay.
Really? A depressed kit? So it's tissues, it's tomatoes to throw at your TV.
They actually had people waiting they had ushers at the door taking all sharp objects from people entering the theater.
Ouch. Now I'm curious. I want to see the press kit. Hold on.
Yeah, I can get you the link. It's just it's an album with press photos.
Japan, with Herb Ritz. Is this the one with? Oh wait. Well, there's multiple press kits available. Oh man, look at this. There's a Japan Mitsubishi press kit lot with laser disc.
Oh, vintage laser disc quality.
Wade, pay attention. Valentine's Day is coming, and Stacey is the same day. I'm thinking, here you go. Only $625 available now.
If you really loved her,
one copy. Look at this. Look at all.
Wow.
It's magical. Oh, this is the Who's the Girl Japan tour. This is not what you want. This is
no, this isn't the movie. This is the tour.
Such a disappointment. Yes, this is not what you want. Clearly, you're gonna have to cheap out. Only $150 for the press kit from the movie. Which
wow.
Yeah, look at that.
I didn't know that they had these.
Oh yeah, there's always press kits. Yeah,
you could read along. You guys.
Oh, it's the script.
We can do a dramatic reenactment of the script.
Oh man!
Oh man! Maybe
we
Blackhawk
do that as a group.
Blackhawk could do it as their school play.
We should do that as a group.
Well, they're doing SpongeBob this year, so
I want Reagan to direct.
Who would we get to play Buck?
Oh man!
Real
Certainly, Adam would be Buck. What are you crazy?
I don't know. Rigby looks kind of like a cougar.
Man, look
We're
at
gonna
all
know
the
Cougar for
photos.
Cool.
Whatever this is, this looks like a songbook. I have no idea what that is. Maybe it's just a folder.
Is there a description on the listing, or is it just
Poor Griffin Dunn, who gets to be a thumbnail.
Yeah, he has equal billing with the cat.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what you get. You get the Kiss 21 pages of production information, 16 publicity photos,
custom picture folder. Okay.
Contents are fresh, are minty fresh.
Ooh.
Wow. Unlike the movie. No. I'm kidding. Hey, I might have on my watch list numerous Sgt. Pepper Lonely Hearts Club Band items. So I can't say that. You know. I might be waiting for the price to drop on the Sgt. Pepper Lonely Hearts Club Band 8-track cassette. You know, if you're looking for a Valentine's Day idea for me.
Movie related, did you hear that Movie Pass is back?
Oh.
It's back with a more sustainable business model now. But if you have to get on a waiting list. I actually joined the waiting list long enough ago that I was actually able to join it, I think yesterday.
Oh.
For $10 a month, basically, you can see about 3 movies, as long as you don't go, if you're going on the weekday matinee type time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're unemployed.
So if you're unemployed or have a flexible work schedule,
yes,
you can. It's in the form of credits, so it costs more credits. You can see them in the evening, but you mainly get to see 2 movies a month instead of 3, kind of thing.
Still for $10.
For $10, not a bad deal, and you can carry over 1 month's worth, so you don't have to use them all up.
Or they're like, if it's like Ant-Man Quantumania, it doesn't count. Is there
you can't do 3D and you can't do IMAX at the moment.
Oh, okay, but it's not the title. It's not like, oh, this is a big
title. It's not premium titles are exempted. It's the time of day you go.
That's actually doesn't seem
and
bad.
day of the week. Yeah,
it's not bad.
Cool.
That's not bad at all.
Well, especially when the theaters now, because at the time when MoviePass was out before, the theater owners viewed them as evil incarnate and tried everything they could to stop them. Plus, they had a totally unsustainable business model. But now when they're struggling to try to compete with streaming, it actually makes a lot of sense to try to do anything you can to pull people back into theaters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And maybe they wouldn't have had the problem if they hadn't sued Movie Pass out of existence.
Well, they would have gone out of existence quickly enough with their business model anyway, though. So
well, that's true. Adam asks if anybody's seen Avatar 2 yet,
No.
which I think is interesting, Adam, that you went to see it if you weren't a fan of the first one.
Right.
I hated that, but I'm going to hate watch this for 3 hours.
It's like the first one, mostly the same plot, only longer.
Yeah. But I hear it's beautiful.
I think that it's not going to be, so I'm not going to go see it.
I think it passed the $2 billion mark globally.
Yeah.
It did,
It's
yeah.
done very well. Yeah.
We've had all of our friends have had like split reviews. Like either some people are like, yes, we love it. We absolutely think this was like fantastic. You need to go see it. Or like, if you watch that movie, you're wasting your life and you should probably just go jump off a cliff instead.
I do know there are people that want to like it because they're very much in tune with the environmental message and all of that kind of
That's
stuff.
what my sister, she was like, oh my gosh, it was beautiful. It was amazing. I saw it 3 times and it was like so natural and like all this stuff. And I was like, girl, what are you talking about?
It's like 10 hours.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Go watch Al Gore, you don't have to watch a James Cameron movie to be in tune with the environment.
I think I'd rather watch Avatar 2 than Al Gore.
I was going to say, it can't be worse than Al Gore.
Well, just put it in a lockbox.
What are your choices? Maybe it was that girl again. Who knows? It's crazy.
James Cameron, the Al Gore story.
And Adam doesn't understand why his movies make so much money.
Hype.
They're very pretty, I think.
Yeah.
They're pretty.
And
it's
They
gonna
hype
be
them for so long, and then people go see them.
he has a loyal audience. The same way, there are directors. Tyler Perry is a director who has a loyal audience who goes see all of his films. Whether they're good or bad, they go see his films.
Yeah.
This is true. This is true.
Eric, you were talking about Sgt. Pepper's, and I was thinking, because I want to go back to Steel City Con because Michael C. Hall is coming back, and I was
I
thinking
did
the last
see
time-
that. Yes.
I'll be there. The last time we went, I found it was like $85, but I was like, next time. But it was a giant, like, original theater poster signed by some of the cast of Sgt. Pepper's.
What?
Yeah, and maybe I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, oh, maybe I'll find it again.
Some of the cast, George Burns.
George Burns. Peter
I don't know
Crampton.
who it was. They just they had it signed by some of the cast, but
That's crazy. I did not see that. Lots of good people coming to Steel City Con in Pittsburgh. Okay, not lots. There's
Dolph
a
Lundgren.
go.
I must thank you.
I wanted to go in December.
Richard
All
D.
of
Anderson, so
the
you can get all the Stargate
Hobbits
people
were
going.
there.
Andrew McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
do you want
Richard Dreyfuss, come on.
Well, what's Richard Dreyfuss doing in this list?
See, I'm excited for Dolph Lundgren. I'm not gonna lie because
And
he was.
who's the guy that's all forehead?
Who?
What?
Ethan Suplee? He's all forehead.
Oh,
He
he's
was
in-
My brother
was in-
Earl, or
no,
my name was Earl.
Oh, okay.
he was in. Hold on.
Oh,
What was
Richard
that guy's name?
Mazer. was
Louis-
cute.
I love that reaction. Oh,
Richard
Mazer was-
Dreyfuss from Jaws is gonna be there.
He was Louis Lastic in.
Oh,
Remember
George
the
Wendt.
Titans.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, George Wendt.
That's who he was.
Okay.
See,
If
we
you
went,
ever-
we went
you've
last
lost
time.
a
We
ton of
saw
weight
Jennifer
since that.
Carpenter. So maybe I'll
If you get
the-
George Wendt and Kelsey Grammer on a panel, that would be kind of fun.
Oh, there you go. And Dolph Lundgren to fill it out.
Sure, why not? I have Jesse Ventura. Come on.
And apparently Zach Levi's a vaccine denier. So anyway, you got all kinds of fun things
Well,
going on.
He's a what?
Okay.
Oh, I thought.
It's like, no, I mean, he retweet. You know the context of that,
I
right?
do know the context of it.
Okay.
Yeah, his claim is
terrible
after the
thing to
fact
tweet
that his claim is
because-
that's not what he meant. Yes.
Yeah, no, saying
Eric,
you're
look
against
at that link.
Pfizer is sketchy and people are against it for the vaccine, but he just doesn't like the big pharma company.
But in the context
Which
that
is
of
fair.
the post he retweeted,
Yeah,
it's-
no, it's not. Yeah, it's not smart to just retweet like "Yup, anti-Pfizer" without context.
What did you just send
I
me?
claim he's posting about something that happened 15 years ago instead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, I would still slap down almost $300 just to look at Zach next to and stand next to him. So,
Fair enough.
When you can have 2 Madonna press kits for that money?
Oh,
exactly
Lord.
why. I'm gonna get a picture with Michael C. Hall. But last time we saw Jennifer Carpenter.
Oh my gosh, who's that from?
Who is that?
What is this?
That's that Ethan guy. That Ethan Suplee. He's from
Oh.
Remember the Titans.
Oh.
I saw.
He played
Yeah.
Luke Elastic. That's how much weight he's lost.
Whoa. Oh, I
You didn't
see.
even
The
know it was
forehead
him.
guy.
Yeah, forehead guy.
Yeah, that's his. That's what
That's the forehead guy.
Yeah.
And now he's
That's
all
all
ripped.
his friends
I feel bad for Jenna Elfman that's the best photo.
I know. Wade didn't even know it was
Yeah, I
her.
didn't recognize
She
her.
looks like Bindi Irwin.
She's got to look better than that.
Maybe it was a windy day.
It might have been a windy day. It might have been after a
Maybe I was at Windy City Con.
accident. Oh my goodness. So there you go. Steel City Con, Pittsburgh. When? I have no idea. March 31st. So there
March
you go.
31st, April 1st, April 2nd.
There you
We
go.
were gonna go over Christmas because all the hobbits were there, but it would have been
Yeah.
really expensive to get a picture with all 4 of them at once.
Well, if whenever we went, if it makes you feel better, you can spend 30 and just look at all of them because that's what I did with the extra cast. It was like $30, and we walked into this room,
Just
and I
look at
was
him.
like, he killed this guy, he caught him, he was this way. There's Sergeant Dokes, there's his sister, like all these people. It was crazy. My friend came with me. She had no idea who literally anybody was in the whole all of
This is a
Steel
good
City
thing.
Con. She had zero idea, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this guy was in this and this." And she was like,
Reagan
Sure.
is the walking IMDb.
"Yeah." I was like, "Oh, he was in this," and she was like, "I don't know what that is, but cool." Like,
It was very crowded last time we went. They
Well, you also had the pent up demand from when they hadn't had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't,
the last few they have been packing them in tight. It has gotten
Reagan and
very
Wade went in September.
so yeah, we went in
Wasn't too
August. It
bad.
was August 13th. Nobody was there. Like, I waited in line for Zach for 30 minutes because he was on lunch, and then I was like the fourth in line, and we were like right through, and then we walked for. I got 2 pictures. I got pictures with the guy who plays Batista in Dexter, and I was in his line. Like they had nobody for him. Like, we were like the only people there. We were almost
What
late.
day of the week were you there?
Oh,
We were there Saturday.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah.
I do like going on a Friday. Friday is the ideal day because not for people who are trying to sell stuff, but they really, if you could take a Friday off, is a great time to go. Saturday afternoon is not.
We did also this past week. We watched Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh,
Which I could-
Oh, I love that.
It is very good. It is not the crazy, amazing, mind blowing experience for me that some people claimed it to be, but I really liked it.
Can you
I still
give
can't
me?
figure out what it's about. Like I looked up some stuff and I was just like, I can't figure it out.
It's not a movie you can really explain.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
about
exactly.
kind of connecting with the multiverse.
Yeah, think of it as a multiversal movie to some degree. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you're
kind of
going to
connecting
watch
with a
it,
multiverse of themselves.
if you're gonna watch it, you got to put your phone away. You got to
Yes, you have to watch it.
turn off
Yeah.
everything. You're not doing dishes. You're not making dinner.
You're not answering emails.
Despite the small screen, it was actually a pretty solid airplane movie because you could just kind of just sit and watch it. Like,
I'll bet it was edited for airplane though, because there are some, there's a fight with dildos, for example, that I bet they edited
that was
out.
not censored for the airplane. There was,
It
it was a
wasn't?
fight
Wow.
with dildos on the airplane.
Look at Eric.
It was.
It was
I
a
would not be
movie.
watching it.
Yeah.
It's my screensaver. What are you crazy? No, I'm kidding.
Well then,
I really enjoyed it. It wasn't, again, I partially agree with Adam. I think it was a bit overhyped, although I don't blame the movie people for that. I blame the people who saw it and were just blown away by it. That didn't happen for me, but I very much enjoyed it and would definitely recommend it.
Yeah. But again, only if you're really going to pay attention, and you're going to be lost for the first 30 minutes. You are. Just accept
Yeah.
that. It will all become
That's a
clear.
good point. You have no idea what this movie is doing or where it's going or what it's about for the first 30 minutes or so. Yeah.
Yes. And I've heard people who are like, I shut it off. I couldn't figure it out. And it's like, you gotta stick with it.
Brian said, that's me.
Will start to become clear.
I was like, I probably would have done that. Yeah.
So to give yourself the time. I mean, it's definitely worth watching.
It is. Yeah, it's definitely worth watching.
There are some people who are like, oh, this is like The Matrix. This is like these are like movies.
Jurassic Park. Yeah,
right, exactly. Like this will last forever in the universe of movie. No, it's really not. But yes, the actor.
But a
from
very good movie, worthy of seeing. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Have we watched The Matrix on here?
Nope.
We have not.
No.
Nope. There's a lot of classic movies we have not done.
We did discuss it a bit in the context of Dark City, because Dark City was a very similar movie in many ways that came out about a year before.
Yeah.
I still have to watch Dark City again. I watched it a long time ago.
I really enjoy it, but this Kiefer Sutherland's performance really does pull it down.
Dark City was not for me.
I know.
I'm trying to remember what I gave Dark City.
But it had Riff Raff from Rocky Horror in it.
Yeah, that wasn't enough.
I watched a couple episodes of Dairy Girls because you guys suggested it.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I think that a couple of them say the F word a lot.
Yeah.
Michelle.
You have to take that with a grain of salt and a pound of pepper because but if you get past that, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It made me laugh a lot. Yeah. So.
Good.
There was one we watched like all of them right off the bat, and there was one that we hadn't seen where this guy it's like taking place in Ireland, wherever they're like going through whatever war that it was, and there's this guy like stowed away in their trunk, and they find him and they're like going through, and then they're like talking about him, and they're like, oh no, like what do we do with this guy? And Michelle goes, well, obviously he's my husband, duh, like why wouldn't this happen? Like it's just like stuff like that. Oh, it's so funny.
But I think he's ginger.
Just like, yeah, he can't be the guy.
Isn't it like a rebellion or something that they did?
It's during the rebellion.
Yeah.
Well,
it was
Belfast.
It's a whole thing.
Northern Ireland, Southern.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it's good that people don't know about that.
You'll be glad to know if you just type Shanghai into IMDb.
Yeah.
Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights both come up before Shanghai Surprise.
Oh, good. Okay.
Really?
Alphabetical order.
Perfect.
You keep scaring me when you say that.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to watch Shanghai Surprise instead, I guess go for it. But it'd be a weird discussion.
I thought that was the last movie in the trilogy. Shanghai Noon.
Yeah.
I think
you
it's
catch
make me
Wilson
mad if you
cameo
watch
in
it.
Shanghai Surprise.
amazing.
That's the one with Sean Penn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was mad that I paid money to go in and watch it.
Ouch.
A company I used to work for, we named our computers after. We decided to pick the naming scheme was bad actors and actresses.
Mm-hmm.
So the printer was named Shatner. I worked. My workstation was Zadora, but one of the guys named his pen.
Yeah.
And I said, he's the only guy in the office who named his bad actor and actress machine after an Oscar winner.
That's funny. Well, to each their own, right?
He's not great in every role by any means, but in the right role, he's excellent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Madonna too,
No, Madonna's never excellent.
Not excellent.
Except for tiny roles. Tiny roles, she's excellent in.
Yeah.
I'm like not for zombie stuff very much anymore. I don't know. I used to be. I'm tired of zombies.
I'm tired of zombies, and I got tired of vampires a few years back. I just got sick of it.
Yeah.
If you want to see, well, this is going to be kind of morbid actually, but I'm going to say it anyways. If you want to see real dead people, you should watch Bondi Rescue. It's a good show about Australia's beach, Bondi Beach, and the lifeguards there. So it's a good one.
I don't want to see real dead people.
It's like Australian Baywatch.
Except it's real, but I watched it. It's like 20 minutes long, and I watched an episode at work today because I was like doing all these emails and phone calls and stuff like that, and I was like, no. So I just turned it on, and me and my boss, like, we're lifeguards, and we were sitting there watching it like.
There was at least one dead guy on it.
That's enough.
But yeah, it's good. I like it.
And then someone say, "I thought I killed them."
No.
That guy in the crib.
It's the pimp and the fat man. I thought I killed them.
The best one was they thought this guy would drown, so they brought in a helicopter to look for him and everything, and
oh my God,
they find him sleeping up in his car.
Yeah. And his friends were like, "We don't know." They were from Ireland, I think.
Yes.
I don't remember where they were from.
They were from Ireland, and they couldn't find him, and they looked for 2 hours for him.
Yeah.
And never went to the car.
Yeah.
Nice.
But then there's other episodes where it's like they look for 2 hours for him, and he was in the water the whole time. There was a guy. So there's like, it's just back and forth, but it's like, I like it a lot because, you know, lifeguarding in a pool, even, I mean, in the summer I did some rescues, but like lifeguarding at the pool, like I've had like incidents happen, like people have like passed out and like just different things like that you have to deal with. But like, we've not had anything like crazy, and it's so different than having to do like 150 rescues a day whenever I probably don't even have to do one for like weeks, you know what I mean? Just because it's so different. And so it's cool to watch that way and see like, not only do I know what to do in certain situations and like talk about it, like even like, in my head or like out loud, like, oh, this is what you need to do. This is what's happening to this person. It's cool to like have that, but it's also like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I work in a pool. Like,
you don't have to worry about riptides in a pool.
Yeah.
It's a half mile of beach, and they literally have 150 rescues a day.
Yeah.
And there's 25 to 30,000 people.
Yeah.
In a half mile.
So it sounds like it has a lot of riptides in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It's crazy.
Speaking of to Adam's point, I will say that Last of Us has been getting stellar reviews, especially for a video game-based show.
It's been recommended to us by like 6 people
Yeah,
that have all
it's
played the
supposed to be
game,
good.
and they're like,
Oh.
it like
I've
the
heard from
scenes are
both. I've
almost
heard people who haven't
identical.
played the game who still think it's really
Well, right.
My nephew loves the game like so much, and he's been loving it too. So,
How old's your nephew?
20 something. I don't know.
Okay. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Anybody remember Riptide from
Oh my god.
No, that I do not remember.
Really?
do.
Oh, I loved this show.
Is that a
I don't remember this at
Carradine?
all.
We'll have to watch it.
Is that Carradine from the Nerds?
Let me see. I think maybe I'm trying to see if they'll tell me who's in it. Let me see. No, it is
No,
not.
it's not.
IMDb will tell me. Hold on.
All right, I'm gonna play this.
Sure,
Let's play this and see
That
what we
moment
get.
where
Oh, wait,
Sean
we get a
goes
commercial
missing.
first.
It's just a cascade.
First, we get a little
then
bit of a
of
commercial business here.
Riptide. It's Perry King, Joe Penny, Tom Bray. Those are the 3 stars.
Okay.
Now hooked up with somebody else and now heavily into.
in love with this man. He's got a kind of maturity that her first husband didn't.
This is not what I'm looking for.
Marshall Warfield was in several episodes.
Yeah, it was popular at the time. Like it was not for long, but the
do not remember. It's gone from my brain for whatever
I remember it, but I never saw it. I just remember the faces.
What year was this? This was 84 to 86. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to much TV in those years.
All right, hold on.
I was down to talk to my doctor about
more
Rebelsis.
ads. There's so many ads. The world is full.
Have you talked to your doctor about Rebelsis lately?
I was going to.
The thing that's different about a
hold on, here
Virgo
comes yet
vacation
another
home,
ad if we want another one.
we always
Here we
have
go.
Ooh.
Here's season 1. Let's skip that trial. Here he goes. Here comes the big king. Mike Post at his finest.
I do kind of remember this with the helicopter.
Well, the helicopter, Wade. I was going to say, how do you remember Riptide?
Yeah. Well, I was overseas for most of that, so I don't.
They didn't have new TV over in Japan and Korea.
Oh, man.
We had the Olympics and the Grammys were on.
Perry King and Joe Penny and Tom Bray. Annie Francis, look at that, Anne Francis.
Oh my gosh, that was Anne Francis. Oh my god.
The theme song makes me think of Simon and Simon.
It's Mike Post, so
That's
same guy
the
who did
thing.
the Miami Vice theme song.
All these shows were like along the same lines.
Oh, it's Stephen J. Cannell, of course.
Why?
Okay.
Oh, wow, yeah, of course, yeah, absolutely.
Well, he was the show guy for quite a few years there. I mean, he did so many. He did Hunter. He did all kinds of.
This is going to be my next TV series. I'm just
Did he
telling
do
you.
The Equalizer, or was that somebody else?
I don't
It may have been a Cannell show.
Oh, and Pete Carpenter. He needed 2 people to write this song. Oh, look at those madcap hijinks.
You might have to watch
So
it.
obviously,
If they could just get a cougar in there.
Okay, so
it'd be
what-
perfect.
what's it streaming on, Eric?
Oh, I have no idea. Guessing that's all on YouTube at this point. Who cares about Riptide?
That's funny.
Let's see. Riptide currently streaming on Fubo for free. All 3 seasons available for free and on Crackle. So if you
Crackle, good.
if you got Crackle or
Crackle
Fubo,
would not work for us. We had to.
I mean, Stephen J. Cannell, he did the Rockford Files. He did Black Sheep Squadron, Greatest American Hero.
Okay, my favorite part of this. Hold on, wait a second. Here it is. Hold on, wait. Let me bring this up here, and let's get back to the Just Watch page. You'll notice that Riptide, the complete series, is available on a 13-disc set. You're such a fan of the show.
Whoa.
13. Nice.
With that great cover art too.
Oh goodness.
I bet you it's at Walmart.
It does.
I'm still watching MacGyver right now, so that's
so bad.
fun.
That's my childhood. There we go.
MacGyver's a better show.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was 1980 something for MacGyver. That's what made me think of it.
See, MacGyver was a little too mature for me. Like I wasn't ready for MacGyver when MacGyver.
But see, MacGyver also appealed. Some of these shows were just action, whereas MacGyver tried to have some thinking to it.
Yeah.
Which made it a little bit interesting for a different audience.
Yeah.
Not different enough. All right. So next week we will be talking about Shanghai Noon, Shanghai Night, Shanghai Surprise. No, we're talking about Shanghai Noon, and we will be talking about Kubo and
Shanghai Chicken or whatever.
Yes, exactly. Right. Kubo and the Two Shanghais, I believe, is next week. And please, all month long, Deep Space Nine, Star Trek, Peacock. I'm sure Peacock. No, Paramount TV, where you can find all the episodes of Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
I know nothing about this at all.
So now it's up to Brian to come up with at least a handful of recommended episodes for people.
I will do that very soon.
Perfect. Awesome. Oh, Adam brings up Airwolf. Do you remember Airwolf?
Of course.
Yes.
Airwolf. Do you remember? Riptide. Not so much.
I remember Riptide.
Well, there was an actor on Conan O'Brien's podcast recently who was talking about Airwolf. Who was it? Oh, it was Bryan Cranston, because he met his wife on Airwolf, I think. He did an episode of Airwolf, and he was talking about how who was the lead in that? What was his name?
I'm going to tell you in just a second.
Yeah, Michael Vincent. Yeah, about how sad it was actually working with him, because he was just so under the influence pretty much all during filming, and part of the reason he wore dark glasses was he would take naps during filming.
Sorry.
Nice.
But he also said how much fun it was working with Ernest Borgnine. He was just an absolute joy to work with.
Yes, but apparently not 13 discs to get through all 4 seasons of Airwolf.
They also started joking about how, of course, you had to have a helicopter play a key role in every single episode, which by season 3 was starting to become difficult.
What's funny is 1984, these were competing shows. They both started in 1984. Airwolf made 4 seasons compared to Riptide's 3.
The air is more interesting than the water. So.
When I heard the name Airwolf, my first thought was it was like Air Bud, but with a wolf instead of a dog. That doesn't seem to be what it is.
No, that is definitely not what it is. There was another helicopter-based show. There was another helicopter-based show around the same time with Blue something, Blue Thunder or something like that. There was a brief series of weird shows like that.
At Hill Street Blues? No, I'm kidding.
No, can't remember what it was called.
What was it about?
There was a movie called Blue Thunder.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was a movie.
Oh, actually, wait, there was a show. Hold on. Dave is correct. There is a Blue Thunder. Hold on. Just Watch is not being my friend today. It's acting super weird. Hold on. Let me see. I'm almost there. I'm really not. That's all right. Hold on. Blue Thunder. Blue Thunder, 1984. And wouldn't you know, starring the one and the only helicopter? Yes, absolutely. One season.
Oh yeah, that was the police helicopter that had
wow.
Stuff.
And that is also streaming on Fubo. Man,
that should be the next TV series choice.
There you go. Yeah,
11 episodes.
Adam was wondering about The Next Generation. I wanted to do both, but I chose Deep Space Nine instead.
Yes, you lost, Adam. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, The Next Generation is great too. So
the Next Generation is very spot. I mean, there are some awful episodes of The Next Generation.
Oh yeah,
There's
for
some
sure.
great ones, too.
Yeah.
I've never watched either. So I haven't watched a Star Trek since the original. And
I mean, you have a lot of tropes from the Next Generation, like the whole, Wesley saving the day, the snot-nosed, annoying kid saving the day.
Yep. I have a ton of episodes in Deep Space Nine that I really like. That's why.
You had Will Wheaton on one side, but you also had Brett Spiner on the other, because Data was very cool.
Yeah, Data was,
cool.
He was clearly the Spock replacement, but it still worked.
Well, I mean, they always do that. I think.
Yeah. Odo is in Deep Space Nine. It's Odo.
Yeah, I just hated Voyager. I barely remember it.
Voyager, Voyager and Enterprise both stunk in different ways. Yeah.
I liked Enterprise
more.
more.
We discussed Star Trek.
Yeah.
So this is gonna clear your calendars. February 27th.
And I really wanted to like Enterprise too, because I liked Scott Bakula, but it just didn't work.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as the other ones for sure.
Deep Space Nine had some good. I liked the guy playing the hologram, but the whole premise was bad.
The hologram. Oh yeah,
the hologram doctor was fun, but that's about as far as it went.
Oh no, I there's just so many I like. We'll talk about it, right?
All right.
Yep, we'll get to that.
Talk about
it.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody have a wonderful week. We will see you back here next Monday for fun and frivolity. Right back here.
Yep.
Good night. See ya. Bye. Wrong button. Let's not do that. Wait. Who did that?
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Eric just got dark.
I did. Well, we're still live for some